Okay, hi guys. Another tumultuous week in federal politics. This time there was a bit of a rebellion in the Liberal Party. Things are not looking so good for Malcolm Turnbull, the Wonder Boy Scott Morrison. Neither one of those people seem to be taking a trick lately. Yeah, the latest issue to cause angst amongst the ranks in the Liberal Party is the clean energy target in an attempt to move from say a coal-fired economy to renewables with solar and wind, which of course do not provide base load power. So, you know, it's fine when the wind blows, fine when the sun shines, but not so good when neither are taking place. Just ask a few South Australians about that and I'll be able to confirm that it's not the be-all and end-all of power generation. However, for some reason, the inner circle, including Josh Frydenberg, who's the Energy and Environment Minister, are all supporting the Alan Finkel's, the Chief Scientist Alan Finkel's clean energy target, which is going to basically, looks like it'd lead to a disincentive to use coal. Coal, of course, is being totally demonised by the Greens and the left of the Labor Party and the increasingly left faction in the Liberal Party. It's the same category now as nuclear power, which is also absurd considering that nuclear power is carbon neutral, and actually we had fusion power that would be a perfect source of energy for us. We haven't got that yet, but even the latest fission reactors aren't bad. They're a hell of a lot better than, say, the Fukushimas of the world. The technology's moved on quite a bit since then, and Australia is geologically, I should say, a very stable place to actually have that type of power. But I'm not going to rave about the nuclear option today. It does take a while to build those stations. I just think it's absolutely absurd that they're even contemplating having schemes that are going to be a disincentive for anybody to invest in a coal-fired power station. I mean, I'm not talking about an old-fashioned coal-fired powered station. We're talking about clean burning coal-fired stations, much cleaner and efficient than the old, say, stations like your lawn down in Victoria. And so that sort of technology it may not be as clean as some people would like, but it's a hell of a lot cleaner than what we've had previously. So in effect, it's a relatively clean technology, and that's why the numbers were that over 20 MPs, when they had this party meeting, spoke out against this particular Finkel proposal, this clean energy target, and only 5 spoke for it. And yet the cabinet, the Scott Morrisons, the Josh Frydenbergs, and of course Malcolm Turnbulls of this world, all think it's a wonderful idea. Probably because Malcolm's the one pushing the burrow as usual. Who he calls himself Prime Minister of Australia, but I think he's more of a doctor's wife these days. And you can look that one up if you like to get a definition of it. But it's basically a sort of a soft liberal left type voting person that might be conservative on economic issues, but in areas like environment they're fairly left wing. And Malcolm, it would fit that profile. Maybe he should buy himself a dress and become a doctor's wife. I'd prefer him to do that. Anything that be Prime Minister of the country would be wonderful as far as I'm concerned. He can have any occupation he likes apart from that one. But we can only hope that this is actually a sign that things are not looking so good for him and Scott Morrison, who we all love and cherish. But you know, you can only hope that the time is finally running out, because that was the prediction that late this month the leadership challenge would be on. This is the first show of real dissent amongst the MPs. Maybe they're starting to wake up to the fact that you can't have Labor light budgets and be Labor light in every respect as the Liberal Party. You have to show differentiation between the parties, and you have to placate the Conservative voters. Otherwise, you're going to lose them. You're going to lose them to people like your Pauline Hansons. By the way, I noticed that the press have been throwing more dirt at Pauline. It's amazing how much the mainstream media loves to throw dirt at her, but I wonder how much they're withholding on dirt that could be thrown at, say, some Labor politicians or dodgy Liberal politicians. I'm just wondering. I just do not trust the mainstream media these days to be even-handed on these things. I hope I'm wrong on that one, but I've got my doubts because that woman has gone through hell. I don't agree with all her policies by any stretch, but I think she's gutsy, and I think she's been treated very poorly by a lot of people. But anyway, getting back to good old Malcolm Turnbull, the man we have to put up with, is the Prime Minister. He also decided to do his own Seinfeld act and actually wow the Canberra Press Gallery as they had their annual ball the other night. And part of his routine, of course, was deciding to be self-effacing with humour, but also to put the boot into to Donald Trump. Personally, I think Donald Trump had the right idea about these sort of gatherings. They've got the same type of group of Washington insiders, the reporters over there. He decided, just said, stuff them, I'm not going to your stupid gathering. And basically he shunned them, and that was great. It was fantastic, and that's the way, it's like he calls it as it is. He calls out fake media. He's the antithesis of someone like Malcolm Turnbull. Malcolm Turnbull, well, actually, it's not a matter of Malcolm Turnbull trying to placate them. I think they're his people. If you hear the audio from that night, they loved it. They loved him. He was absolutely a hit. But they're a very nerdy left of centre group of head up their arse reporters. So I wouldn't be too worried about what they think. It's hardly what the rest of Australia thinks. It's not representative at all. And I would think that having them laugh along with Malcolm or laughing at Malcolm is not a good sign either way. And it just shows you that this man has really not much in the way of conservative values. He's a great lover of the ABC and doesn't want to reform that in the slightest, which I find staggering. But maybe that's just the way. That's his DNA. Those are his true colours. And I think that a few of these Liberal MPs, it's good to see that some of them are actually thinking for themselves for once and actually showing some dissent. Hopefully they've got the balls to actually have a leadership challenge happening fairly soon. But this could be the prelude to this occurring. And I can only hope that is the case. That's all I'm saying. So fingers crossed this is the beginning of the end for the Point Piper Prince. And he'll go down one of his local sinkholes, never to be seen again in Parliament. We can only hope.